The first money moves of the year. Happy Transfer Tuesday, guys. It's been a couple big weeks over here, so I'm really excited to share my money moves from the last week. If you don't already participate in Transfer Tuesdays, I highly encourage you to do so. It is that perfect time of year where we're all trying to set our goals, probably making some financial goals if you're here. I think it's time we start. It has been an instrumental habit in getting myself out from under a ton of debt and a ton of monthly payments that has allowed me to drastically scale back my need to work and has brought me to this place where I'm at today of working very little and having a ton of happiness. And I'm never gonna stop talking about how amazing it feels. And it was a long road to get here. Do not misunderstand, but Transfer Tuesdays were that weekly reminder to take a look at my financial habits and move a little money towards debt pay down and savings and investing and all of the things that generally help move your finances in a forward direction. So join us. I hope everyone had a wonderful new year. I know I did. I keep saying it, but I'm so thrilled about 2025. It's going to be such an amazing year full of change, just because, 2024 had a lot of change too. That, felt shitty in the moment, but kind of ended up turning out great, which I also am excited to reflect on with you guys soon, as well as doing my 2025 goals. I think this coming year is going to be me implementing a lot of happy foundational steps that are going to set the stage for the next chapter of my life. And yay, finally. But not to get ahead of ourselves, we need to save up some more money first. So that being said, money moves from the last week. They start with last Tuesday on the 31st of December. I got a few separate PayPal notifications, actually. They were all three from Mark. The first one, he said, "Hi, Rachel. Don't pull down the curtain yet on 2024. Just a little something and an extra cent to round up Carol's $99.99. Happy New Year." And he sent me $101. Wow. Mark, thank you so much. That is so amazing. And then just a few moments later, I got a follow-up notification from PayPal, and he said, "P.S. Silly me, I added an extra dollar instead of an extra cent, so a little bonus. Best wishes for the new year." And he sent me $10.01. And then a few minutes later, I got another notification from Mark that said, "PPS, just rounding up your odd number on the Homestead Fund, LOL." He knows I hate odd numbers. I like things nice and even. And he said, "Happy New Year to you, Rachel, and all of your community. Awesome job." To all of you. Yes, agreed. Thank you, Mark. He sent me another $19.34, which is amazing. And so that $19.34, I did move to the Homestead Fund, which is my current savings goal and has been for the last few months. It's definitely not at the level of being able to actually purchase a homestead, but we gotta start somewhere. So thank you so much, Mark, for adding another $19.34. On the 31st, that account also gained $3.92 in interest, which brought it up to $1,253.92. So thank you, Mark. Then the next day, on January 1st, I got a notification that Robert had commented on my last week's Transfer Tuesday video, and he said, "Many blessings sent your way, Rachel. 2025 is going to be awesome for you." And he sent me $10 through Super Thanks. Thank you so much, Robert. I totally agree. It's going to be a great year. And then a couple days later, Robert again commented on another video, my January budget video. And he said, "Happy New Year, Rachel. 2025 is going to be amazing. You are a rock star." And he sent me $15 through Super Thanks. So a total of $25 through YouTube from Robert this past week, which is amazing. That is wonderfully helpful for my YouTube income. So I really, really appreciate that, Robert. Thank you. And of course, your encouragement and kind words are so appreciated. And then this morning, I got another PayPal notification that Mark had sent me another $25. And he said, Happy Transfer Tuesday, Rachel. I chose to transfer that money into my homestead fund as well. I just wanted to add a little bit extra to the homestead fund this week, and since Mark was gracious enough to send me a little extra, I moved that as well, which that was a huge week from Mark. Thank you so much. And Robert, you guys are so wonderful. Everyone, like Mark had said, this whole community is so amazing. That's all the money moves that I have. And I know I've been quiet. It's been a quiet week. I just stayed in on New Year's and cooked food, did a puzzle, watched movies, things like that. So I've been keeping things pretty low key. Also, my grandmother has been essentially put into hospice care almost 2 weeks ago now, and it's been kind of tough. Obviously, those things are never pleasant. She's in pretty late stage dementia at this point. I got to visit her just before the new year, but then I came down with whatever this sickness is a couple of days later, and I certainly don't want to be taking any kind of sickness anywhere near a nursing home, so it kind of sucks. Have not been able to visit her, and unfortunately it is at the point where she has largely stopped eating, and so it's just kind of a matter of time at this point, which is really crappy. She was a huge influence and a huge inspiration in my life. I grew up right next door to her. I'm incredibly lucky that I got to do that. My grandparents are amazing. Her being at that stage of life, it definitely brings up a lot of reflection. And of course, everyone's grandma is amazing and badass in their own unique way, but it's just really interesting how what I want and am craving for my life lately really reflects the life that my grandmother just lived out of necessity. And by that I mean my dad, my aunt, my uncle, they grew up, as a lot of people did back then, in rural Maine. Money was pretty dang tight, and my grandparents mostly lived off the land. They ate the vegetables that they grew, canned and stored. They ate the meat that they raised, the milk, the chickens. They wore home sewn and home knit clothing to school. Everything was homemade and from scratch. And from the way that my dad and aunt and uncle tell it, my grandmother was just amazing at all of it, and I completely agree. She was a badass in every way, and she taught me so much, and I'm so thankful. And it's interesting because you don't realize what you're learning when you're just in childhood and you want to run through the woods next door to Graham's house, and she lets you bake cookies and make a huge mess in her kitchen, and she lets you tromp through her garden, and you're just being a kid and exploring. But yet my grandmas, both of them, taught me so much, so many of those basic life skills: gardening, canning, cooking, baking, sewing, knitting, just by allowing me to be a kid and be curious in her home. Both grandmothers on both sides. And I'm lucky today that a lot of my canning jars, for example, are hand-me-downs from both grandmothers, which is so cool. With all this free time that I find myself blessed with nowadays, like, all I want to do is spend my time with my cats that make a lot of noise and start living like my gram used to. I so badly, which luckily I've never forgotten the skills that she's taught me, and I am so beyond excited to start a garden this year in the coming spring. It's almost time to start indoor seed sowing. Like I shared with you guys last week, got those free seed trays. Thank you, Victoria. Putting them to good use soon. But since I can't wait, I don't have patience to wait until February-ish to start the first seeds. So, of course, I've started another windowsill veggie garden in the area where my seeds will be started in the seed trays. But I just can't wait. I cannot wait. So, starting easy indoor veggies and herbs, just like I had at my apartment in Hampton, that I had to basically just pluck and stop growing when I had to move, which sucked. That's not going to happen this year. I know I keep saying this year is going to be so amazing, and honestly, like, obviously it could go a million different ways, but I know it's going to be amazing. I plant my own veggies and start feeding myself and start the process of carving out a life that looked a lot like my grandma's. One that's low cost and full of labor and hard work and reward. Ooh, reward. But honestly, financially, I'm so sick of today's economy. I want nothing to do with any part of it anymore. And the only way I see how to do that is to start living like Graham did. Strip it all back to basics. And I'm so excited to share it with whoever might be interested, because if anything, like, I just want it to be inspiring, and like, I think the world just needs a little bit less consumerism right now and a little bit more simplicity, and I want to talk so much more about all of that kind of thing too. You know, I don't want to just always talk about money, money, money all the time, but all of the components of all of this will come back to the central purpose of keeping my life low cost so that I can maintain this high happiness, because I just do not ever want to live any other way going forward. That's the bottom line. I do want to maintain this level of free time, and this level of mental happiness that I have is, wow, it is so woefully important to me at this point. Like, nothing else matters. Happiness above anything. Life is way too flippin' short. So join me, hang around if you want to see how it goes. It's going to be a crazy year. Please feel free to let me know what money moves you guys made towards your future financial goals down in the comments, especially if you're a newbie to Transfer Tuesdays and are making a commitment to your 2025 finances to participate every week, even if it's only a couple dollars that you can save. I think it's important. Let me know. Bye, guys.